Hi, this is Gen T Designs. Welcome to my channel where I share my journey as a designer and seamstress. So I want to talk about kids and sewing and getting them started on sewing. I want to show you some basic stitches to start them off on. If you notice your kid is into sewing, just in my experience, I started sewing when I was really little, and a lot of really talented people out there start their talent when they are young. So when you see that your child is interested in sewing and doing little crafty things with their hands, you want to nurture that very early and support that. So let's get into these basic stitches. You have the running stitch, the whip stitch, and this extra special whip stitch 2.0. And so when your child is first starting out, you really only need these 4 items right here. So I have some fabric, thread, some big old shears, fabric shears, or just scissors. I mean, you know, it's basic. They'll make it work. They'll make it work, trust me. And a needle. I'm using a larger needle that has a bigger eye right here. Just because you want them, as they're practicing putting the thread through the needle, you're going to want a bigger eye that they can see. So you don't want the needle to be too small. All right, first off, you want to teach them how to thread and so thread the needle and then not the end of the thread. So I'm going to take about a foot and a couple inches of this thread right here. I'm going to take the end, one end that's going to go through the needle hole, and then place it through this eye, just like that. So now it's through the eye right here. And then I'm going to pull it through. So this is going to be the tail. I'm not going to pull it too far, but maybe about halfway down this whole length. And then for the knot, it could just be as simple as this, just to start out, just like they're tying a knot in their shoe, just one little knot. And it's not going to be a great knot because it may not even hold in the fabric. And that's when you're going to want to teach them, once they get used to that, some methods to get multiple knots. I know the one that I used for the longest time was just taking this end. Okay, I'm going to grip it between my pointer and thumb, and then take this and wrap it around. So I'm wrapping around in circles around my finger like this. Then I'm just going to roll it off. So roll this whole deal off my pointer finger using my thumb. And then you see I'm gripping it like this. And I'm going to pull it down, and that's going to give me this nice big chunky knot, and that is not going anywhere. So this knot right here. Okay. Stitch number 1 is going to be the running stitch, but even more simple than that, just have your kid just stick the needle through the fabric and get used to that. Okay, so just going back and forth Ooh, it came out. Just a moment. Back and forth through this fabric wherever they want to go. So there's no rules on this, just wherever they want to go, just to get used to sticking it through the fabric and seeing how that works. Okay, so they can pull it. Oh my goodness. Whoa, look, I'm manipulating it like that. I'm gonna stick it through again. Oh my goodness. Wow. So just sticking it through and then seeing what happens, just like that. Okay. And then the running stitch that you're gonna wanna teach is just this stitch that goes like this. So I'm gonna start here where I came out and then go through here to one side, come up a little ways away, back up through the fabric. All right, and then back down again. And you can draw a line for them to follow. And back up. Then you can also teach this shortcut, which is the best. So if you want to just do a line really quick right here, then you can go down and up, down and up. So you're making basically an accordion with the needle and the fabric. See, like that. And then you just pull it through. And then you have a line really quick, just like that. And smooth it out. Then you have that line of the running stitch. That's the running stitch. And that they can make seams with it. And they can do a lot with just that. And then of course you're gonna want to teach them how to do a knot at the end. And so for that, all right, you're gonna want to go to the end. You take your needle and then put it, the tip right here where it's coming out. So right at this point, very close to it. And then I'm just gonna grab a little bit of fabric just like that, stick it through, and then take this, wrap it around. So you're making a loop. You're putting the needle through that loop, then drawing it through. So you're making a knot like that, okay? I'm just gonna do it one more time. Catch a little bit of fabric, and then put the needle through this loop that's right here, this big old loop. Then draw it through, and you have your knot. The second great stitch to teach is gonna be a whip stitch. So this is good to use on seams. So as you can see, I have two pieces of fabric edges together, lined up. And then I'm going to take this about, I don't know, 3 millimeters, just a little bit away from the edge. Stick it through. All right, and then instead of doing a straight line like this, like taking it through the same side that it comes out of, I'm gonna put the needle through the opposite side. Okay, and making a straight line, following a line down this length. Okay, so it's going through the opposite side. So that's gonna create a loop that is enclosing that edge, just like this. So it's wrapping around that edge. Then I'm gonna take it, do the same thing, go to the opposite side, push it through, bring it on up. And then just continue. Okay, and then you see it's going down, and that is going to enclose a seam. Just like that. Okay, and then the third, I forget the name. I just call it, I don't know, an edge overlocking stitch. But I was taught this very early. It's just a variation. It's just one extra step onto this whip stitch right here. So I'm gonna take this again, like I'm doing the whip stitch, take it under and up, but instead of pulling it all the way through, I'm going to leave this loop right here and then put my needle through the loop, like so, here, and then draw it through. All right, and so you see that when I did that, it's gonna catch up that thread and hold it close to the edge. So I'm gonna put this through again, and you're really gonna see how it works this time on the second stitch. So I put it through that loop, pull it through. Oh, it didn't go through. Here we go. There we go. And you see that this line that appears right here, and that's gonna enclose, it's gonna follow along this edge right here. So pull it through the loop. All right, and you see this line starting to form right here, and that's what you want. This is a really sturdy stitch. It's even better than the whip stitch because of this line right here. It just makes it stronger and creates a cleaner line of stitching for a seam. And this is also a great one that you can use for repairing just simple tears if you don't care what it'll look a little bit messy, but it'll work. So through the loop and pull through. All right, so there you have it. You have the running stitch, the whip stitch, and this extra special whip stitch 2.0. And just to start off, you don't have to get them the fanciest, best fabric out there. You can pull out some old t-shirts, some clothes that you're not going to wear. Maybe they're in not the best shape to be even donated. So then you can give that to your kid, give them a pair of scissors, and then with their basic stitches that you learn on this video, they're just gonna go to town on that fabric and be making, be learning. So just making little masks, or I remember when I first started, I took an old t-shirt and I just balled it up and stuck the needle through there, just shoved that needle through there and the thread, and then I made a little bunched up cloth ball. And so just that was a start, just getting used to the feel of the fabric and how it worked, and learning just how it can hold together with that needle and thread. And so then once, you can take them to Walmart, Joann's, the fabric sections, and let them choose the fabrics. Classes are important. So if they, you can take them, there's private tutors out there, there's classes at most sewing stores like Joann's and a lot of fabric stores and sewing machine stores are going to have basic classes for kids. So they're going to learn a lot on their own, trust me, because kids are very creative and driven in the things that they like to do. But it's good to invest that teaching into them. And then you just watch them, grow and blossom. Eventually they're gonna be interested in getting a machine, and you're just gonna see their talent just go to levels that you may not even be able to imagine. So thank you so much, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.